If you didn't read the description, then I don't know why you clicked on it. But today I will be talking about the time my taxi driver tried. Okay, sorry, don't mind me. There's just a hole in my shirt because I'm disgusting. Okay, bye. So we lived in Toledo at the time, and I'm not gonna stay at the school I went to, but my little sister lives with us, but she was out of town. She was actually at my grandma's house staying the weekend with her friend. So my mom was like, okay, let's go get something to eat and we can go to the movies or something. And I was like, okay. So my mom's favorite place at the time was like Wendy's. So we didn't have our car because it was in the shop being fixed. So we called the taxi, and you know, taxi service sometimes can be slow, sometimes can be fast, depending on the day that you like contact them and time. So basically what happened was they said that it would be like an hour until they can come pick us up. My mom, she had a lot of hair, and she was a beautiful woman. So she was all about her looks and how she represented herself, and the way, if you seen her, you would know that she carried herself really well. So like you knew she took a while to get ready. So basically she went to go straighten her hair, and basically it took, for me to straighten her hair, it would take a while. It would take like 2 hours just for me to straighten like half of her head. So we're like getting ready. I'm like ready, and I'm sitting on the couch waiting for her, and the flipping taxi cab, all you hear is beeping outside. So I'm like, Mom, we gotta go. We gotta get out. So she's like, okay, well tell him that it will be like 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And I go outside and I tell him it's gonna be 2 minutes until we can leave because she's not done getting ready. So I come back in, and then she's like, what did he say? And I was like, he said okay. So I sit back down and I'm waiting for my mom, and you hear him beeping like a minute later, and I'm like, wait a minute, you need to calm down, sit down for a minute, because I'm confused. I told you it's gonna take us 2 minutes and you give me a minute and start beeping at me. So I'm sitting there patiently. My mom's like, go tell him that it'll be 2 minutes. And I was like, that's what I just did. He didn't listen to me. She was like, just go tell him. And I was like, okay. So I went to go tell him again. I was like, sir, it's gonna take us 2 more minutes. And he was like, no. I gave you guys 2 minutes. I've been sitting out here for 30 minutes waiting on you guys. And I was like, if you've been sitting here for 30 minutes, why didn't you just beep? And he was like, I beeped. I came up to the door and knocked on the door. I was like, no, you didn't. So it will be 2 more minutes. Please just wait, calm down. And he cuts me off, and he's like, no, you have 2 seconds to have your mom out here, or I'm gonna call the police, and then you guys have to pay me my money. And I was like, okay, I'll go get her. So like, I'm like, okay. I go inside to get my mom, and I'm like, he said he's gonna call the police if we didn't hurry up. And she says, I didn't pay. I'm not going anywhere if he calls the police on me. Tell him I need 2 minutes. And I was like, you want me to go back out there? That's what you want me to do? She's like, okay, Giya, we can just go now. So like she gets her coat on, her shoes on, and you hear him beeping again. I'm like, you just need to calm down. Like, was you in a rush because you're working and you said you're flipping the hours up? It was only like 4 o'clock at the time, and he works until like flipping 10. So me being me, I walk outside, and he's like, hurry up. I have other places to go. And I'm like, okay, well, sorry for trying to pay you, but you know what I mean? So we get into the car, and like he starts mumbling, and my mom's like, what did you say? And he was like, oh, well, I just said like I have somewhere to go. And she was like, well, if you had somewhere to go, you could have just called somebody else and they could have picked us up. And he starts cussing, and he's like, I don't care. You pay me, you don't pay nobody else, I'm the boss. And I was like, wait a minute. And my mom goes, that's my daughter in the car. You're not gonna sit here and talk to me in front of my daughter. You're not gonna disrespect me in front of my daughter. So we get to our destination, which is Wendy's, and he has the nerve to look at us and say, we see on the little money thing, and it says It physically says $10. So my mom like gets out her money and she's like, here you go. And he's like, that's gonna be $30. Like, I don't have a problem paying for that, but the fact that we didn't owe $30, I was like, no. And my mom was like, that thing says 10? And he was like, no, I waited for you for 30 minutes. You owe me $30. And my mom was like, first of all, it hasn't been 30 minutes. It physically was only like 10 minutes and you had nowhere else to go. And then he was like, if you don't pay, I call the police. And my mom was like, here's your $10. Giya, let's go. And I was like, okay. And like I start laughing and I go to open the, and guess what he does? He locks the door and he starts to pull off. And I said, wait. And he said, my mom was like, not with my baby in the car, my baby's in the car. And like she flipping unlocks the doors. And like she's like, get out the car. So we get out the car and he like parks. He parks his little car. He's like, skirt. Parks in front of the building and says, I'm calling the police. He jumps out the car and gets in my mouth. I'm calling the police. And I'm like, inside, outside, I'm laughing. But like in the inside, I'm like, I don't want to die. What if he like pulls out a gun? So my mom's like, go inside, Giya. I'll be in there like in 1 minute. I was like, okay. So I stand by the door. And then my mom comes in and I was like, what happened? And my mom was like, well, he did call the police and they'll be here any minute. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I was like, I don't want to be involved with this. So she was like, no, it's going to be okay. So we go get our food and we sit down, wait for the police, and we're eating, having a good old time. And guess what happens? The police comes in. And he's like, Asia, what's the problem right now? And my mom goes, well, I wanted to take my daughter to the movies and to go get something to eat before we went. And he's saying we owe him triple the amount that we actually owe. And then she was like, I'm not paying that amount. I'm going to give him what I seen on the thing. And he was like, okay, just give me the money and I'll give it to him. So she gives him the $10. And he's like, thank you, Asia. If you have any other problems, call me. We'll get this taken care of. And I was like, okay, let me just get my burger. That's just how I felt. I was like, I just want to go home and go to bed and watch some YouTube, something, I don't care. So this is what happened. We eat, everybody leaves, the flipping taxi driver flicks us off. And you know what happens next? We walk. We're like, we're not calling a taxi cab anymore. We're just gonna walk until we get to Walmart and then we'll like take the bus or something. Guess what happens? We thought everybody was gone. We walk across the street. We get to the car dealership right next to Walmart. The taxi driver starts following us. I had to pray. I was scared. I was like, Mom, I honestly don't want to die. Like that was my honest thinking and my opinion at the moment. She was like, oh no, we'll be fine. So like he follows us and like we just go inside, and when we come back out, we call another cab, and thank God it wasn't him. But when we were in the car, he did try to like drive off with us and then follow us to Walmart. Like we didn't get out of flipping Wendy's until like an hour after. So like for him to still be following us and watching us is kind of like, so that was my story about the time that my taxi driver tried to kidnap me and my mom. I hope you guys liked this video. Bye.